I was lying on the kitchen floor, struggling to breathe, and my phone was right there, just inches from my fingertips. I could hear the muffled sound of music and laughter coming from down the hall. My own sister's birthday party. Which was also supposed to be my birthday party. Someone call 911. I gasped, but nobody heard me. Or maybe, they just didn't care. See, 2 hours ago, a beautiful box of cupcakes showed up at my door with a little note that said, *, peace offering from your sister. Happy birthday, Haley. *, and like a fool, like someone who still believed in family, I opened it. I smiled. I took a bite. And that bite almost killed me. And that's where my story truly began. Before I share this chapter of my life. If you've ever felt ignored, unheard, or underestimated, then this channel is for you. Subscribe to Jossy Revenge, where every story has a heartbeat. Now, let me take you back to where it all began. Let me take you back 4 weeks before that night I spent gasping for air on my kitchen floor. 4 weeks before everything I thought I knew about my family turned to ash. My grandmother, we called her Nana May, she was everything to me. Not the flashy kind of everything. Not the she buys me things kind. The real kind. The kind where she remembers how you take your coffee. The kind where she calls you on a Tuesday afternoon just to say, I was thinking about you today, baby. That kind of everything. Every single week, without fail, I drove 40 minutes to visit her. Rain, snow, early morning shift at work, didn't matter. I showed up. Because that's what you do when someone has given you that much love. And then one Tuesday, everything changed. I got the call while I was getting ready for work. It was my mother. And my mother never calls me unless she needs something. So right away, something felt off. Haley, your grandmother had a stroke. She's at St. Andrew's. No, are you okay? No, I know you two are close. Just the facts. Cold and flat, like she was reading off a grocery list. I dropped everything and rushed to the hospital. When I got there, I expected to find my mother at Nana May's bedside, holding her hand, crying maybe. Instead, I found her in the hallway, on the phone. And not crying. Talking. Quietly, but I caught a few words. Words like, the house and the account. And standing right next to her, nodding along, was my twin sister, Harper. Now, let me pause here for a second. Have you ever stood right in front of people you love and felt completely invisible? Because that's exactly what it felt like in that hallway. Harper and I, we used to be inseparable. Twin sisters. Same face, same laugh, same everything. But somewhere along the way, something shifted between us. It was slow, like a crack in glass you don't notice until one day the whole thing shatters. And I think that crack started the moment Nana May began talking about her estate. See, Nana May had done well for herself. She owned property. She had savings. And suddenly, everyone in my family started paying a whole lot more attention to her. Everyone except me, because I never cared about any of that. I just cared about her. But my mother? Harper? They cared. Oh, they cared very much. Over the next few days, a family meeting was called. And at that meeting, Harper was chosen as Nana May's medical proxy. The person who would make decisions about her care. Now, I had been the one visiting her every week. I had been the one she trusted. But none of that mattered. Harper got the role, and I was pushed to the side like I didn't exist. And that wasn't even the worst part. You see, my birthday was coming up. And since Harper and I are twins, it's also her birthday. My mother had been planning a huge party for Harper, a real celebration, the kind with decorations and a guest list and all of it. And when I asked if I was included, my mother looked me dead in the eye and said something I will never forget. Stay home, Haley. Nobody wants you there. Just like that. No softness. No apology. Like I was a stranger. I remember standing there, in my own mother's kitchen, feeling the floor shift beneath me. And I thought, maybe this is just how it is. Maybe I'm the one who doesn't matter. But I had no idea, not even a little bit, how deep this was about to go. The night of Harper's party, our birthday, let's not forget, I was alone in my apartment. No music. No cake. No candles. Just me, sitting on my couch, scrolling through my phone, watching my sister's celebration unfold in real time on social media. Every photo, every laugh, every "Happy Birthday Harper" comment felt like a tiny needle going straight into my chest. But then something happened that made me think, maybe things weren't as bad as I thought. Around 8 o'clock, there was a knock at my door. I opened it and found a beautiful box sitting on my welcome mat. No one in the hallway. Just the box. I picked it up and there, tucked under a little ribbon, was a note written in Harper's handwriting. Peace offering. Happy birthday, Haley. H. I stood there for a moment, just staring at those words. And honestly, something inside me softened. Because no matter how much things had changed between us, she was still my sister. My twin. And maybe, just maybe, she felt bad about everything. Maybe this was her way of reaching out without having to say it out loud. Have you ever wanted so badly to believe in someone that you ignore every warning sign? Because that's exactly where I was in that moment. The box was filled with cupcakes. Beautiful ones. Chocolate frosting, little sprinkles on top. They looked homemade, which made them feel even more personal. I didn't even question it. I just smiled, walked back inside, and sat down at my kitchen table. I picked one up. Took a bite. And within minutes, everything went wrong. It started with a tingle on my lips. Then my throat began to tighten, slowly at first, like someone was gently squeezing. I put the cupcake down. My heart started racing. I knew this feeling. I knew it because I had lived with a severe nut allergy my entire life. Every single person in my family knew about it. It was one of the first things anyone ever learned about me. And yet, somehow, these cupcakes had nuts in them. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold it. When the operator picked up, I could barely get the words out between gasps. I'm having an allergic reaction. I need help, please. But here's the part that still gives me chills when I think about it. When the ambulance finally arrived, and it took longer than it should have, the paramedic who rushed in, a young man named Daniel, knelt beside me and looked at me with this expression I'll never forget. It wasn't just concern. It was suspicion. "Ma'am, did you call us first?" he asked, his voice calm but careful. I nodded, struggling to breathe. He checked his radio, and his jaw tightened. He turned to his partner and said something I couldn't fully hear. But what I did catch was this: someone had already called in about me, before I had called. And that call? It said I was exaggerating. That it wasn't serious. That I didn't really need an ambulance. Someone had tried to slow down my rescue. Daniel worked fast. He stabilized me, got me breathing again, and got me into the ambulance. But before we pulled away, he looked back at me and said something quietly, something that changed everything. "When you feel better, I think you need to look into this. Because this doesn't feel like an accident to me." I lay there on that stretcher, oxygen mask over my face, heart still pounding, and for the first time that night, the tears that fell weren't from sadness. They were from fear. The hospital stay was 3 days. 3 days of beeping monitors, stiff beds, and a mind that would not stop racing. The doctors told me it was one of the most severe allergic reactions they had seen in years. A little longer without treatment, they said, and the outcome could have been very different. But it was Daniel's words that kept echoing in my head long after the medical stuff faded into the background. This doesn't feel like an accident to me. So I started looking. The first thing I found was tucked inside Nana May's bedside drawer, something I only stumbled upon during one of my visits to check on her. It was a letter. Folded neatly, sealed with a small wax stamp, and written in my grandmother's shaky but unmistakable handwriting. My name was written across the front. Haley. My hands trembled as I unfolded it. The letter was short, but every single word carried weight. My sweet girl. If you are reading this, then things have moved faster than I hoped. There are people in this family who do not have your best interests at heart, or mine. Do not trust what you are told. My attorney, Mr. Bennett, will be in contact with you soon. He will explain everything. Know this, Haley, you have always been the one who loved me for me. And because of that, you will be taken care of. I promise you that. All my love, Nana May. I read it twice. Then a third time. And then I sat there in that quiet hospital room, tears rolling down my face, wondering how long she had known. How long she had seen what was happening around her and said nothing, because she was protecting me. Have you ever realized that someone you love was fighting for you long before you even knew you needed fighting for? Mr. Bennett called me 2 days later. He was calm, professional, and very direct. He told me that approximately 2 weeks before Nana May's stroke, she had contacted him to make changes to her will. Significant changes. And the reason? Because one evening, while visiting her at the facility where she had been staying before the stroke, she had overheard a phone conversation. A conversation between my mother and Harper. They were discussing how to make sure Haley, me, received absolutely nothing from the estate. Nana May heard every word. And she acted immediately. The new will left everything to me. The house. The savings. All of it. Now, I want you to understand something. When Mr. Bennett told me this, I didn't feel victorious. I didn't feel happy. I felt sick. Because the woman who had loved me the most in this world had spent her final weeks of good health quietly protecting me from the people who were supposed to love me too. But I wasn't done uncovering the truth. Not even close. Daniel had stayed in touch, checking in, asking how I was doing. And one evening, I told him everything. The letter, the will, the cupcakes. He listened carefully, and then he connected me with someone he knew, a forensics expert named Marcus. Marcus was the one who found the messages. With my permission and cooperation, he helped me pull text conversations from a phone backup connected to Harper's account. And what was in those messages between Harper and my mother made my blood run cold. They had planned it. All of it. The cupcakes with almond flour, deliberate. The call to 911 telling them I was exaggerating, deliberate. And there was something else in those messages that made my stomach drop. A reference to a camera. A camera that had been installed in the building where I lived, put there to monitor my movements, my schedule, my routines. They had been watching me. I sat in Marcus's office, staring at those messages on the screen, and I felt something shift inside me. The sadness, the confusion, the disbelief, all of it started to harden into something else. Clarity. I knew exactly what I had to do next. And I was going to do it in the one place where it mattered most, right in front of everyone. Moral of the story. I arranged a family meeting at St. Andrew's, right there in Nana May's room. My mother walked in confident. Harper walked in smug. And when Mr. Bennett read that new will aloud, I watched the color drain from both their faces. Then I showed them the messages. The room went silent. And in that silence, Nana May's eyes fluttered open. She looked at me. Just me. And smiled. Some people love you quietly. Some people fight for you when nobody is watching. Honor those people. If my story touched you, hit that subscribe button for more emotional tales from Jossy Revenge. And even if it didn't? Come on, subscribe anyway, I'll win you over next time. Drop a comment, like the video, and let's keep the stories alive. Thanks for watching.